I'll start here, then I'll send a screenshot of the roulettes I work with, but I'll start here with the Brazilian one. To have the simple standard as a base, right, initially. And then we move on to broad regions, right? Broad regions are still more precise than simple patterns. I don't need to keep waiting for a pattern to form every time. Knowing that, from the material that was sent, that there are regions of kings, right? We can consider that 21 and 9 are part of the same region, right? They are very close there and are part of the same region of kings. With it as a repetition, I know it can have a bounce, start a return, right, from the region of the 9. The whole 9 region right there, it just hit, look, 14. Separated from 9 by 31. Wide area, region, wide area, return. The hot numbers for 32 there, I believe it's 21, 15, right? I have my intel from the hot numbers there. If there's a quick trip to that region, I only seek out the hot numbers, all right? 15, 019, and 32 are his neighbors. 21 has already come a second time and may also confirm as a hot number, okay? So the coverages I do there until I start the simple pattern are these, okay? It went to the area of the 28, now to the area of the 14. What are the hot numbers from there? I have to analyze. Probably it is the 5 and the 31. 5 and the 31, okay? Here I already have my second entry, because it would be the separate patterns, right? 21 and 32, back and forth from the 14, it would probably be the 31. And I'm doing this for the last time in the region of 28. I'll check there now. If it doesn't hit, I'll already know who, and I'll find out what the hot numbers are. I believe it is 8. It went there to the 1. There has already been a back and forth from a region. Now, to do a repetition of a region is basically the repetition of the entries. I'm going to do the 31 and the 14, okay? Because here, there was repetition. There was a return from the broad region. The back and forth that was from 32 came to 14. 14 and 1 are separated by 20, okay? After the 28, just ignore the color issue, right? I'm only going for the hot number targets. Let's see where it landed. 14, bullseye. So this sequence, even though I didn't get it on the first one, right? Which would be the normal broad region, repeating, wide area doing a round trip, wide area repeating again. Now I hit the very close neighbor. I only go for targets of hot numbers only. Return from the region of 28. It will be 18 and 28 itself, okay? You cannot forget the numbers that come out, because they can become a hot number in this new entry format. I also have to cover the numbers with a tendency to be hot numbers, right? The 28 already came up there. There's the 29, which is next to the 18, right? It's a coverage that I should have done too. And now the 32 there confirming as a new hot number, okay? From that region. Can the table tend to return again? Yes. Now I play the 14 and probably the 1. But I can't forget about 31, which was my first hot number from that region. Alright? So in this sequence, the table is formed by this repetitions and back and forths of exact targets, as well as terminals and regions, right? The regions, when you separate it 4 times, you separate it there into 4 regions, right? From 9 to 17 a region, from 26 to 23 another region. Dividing it by 4, I know that table, she might be doing this all the time. It went to 24, okay? It didn't go to our target, but it's still a region, right? For me, 24 isn't showing up as a hot number there, but most likely it will be later. The quick return is where I do the repetition. I'm just going to repeat, man. I won't even cover the 24 now, because I don't have that much of it from before, and only the 5, right? Number 5 over there, he built 2 houses, and now he's building with the neighbor. Let's see if he brings us anything within this coverage from our hot region, right? Now, the repetition of that region there, from 9 to 24, hit 1. There it is, another win. Within these repetitions and these back and forths. All of this related to what? Hot numbers, right? Only based on the latest results, I know that 31 and 1 there are considered hot numbers, and doing the sequence of repetitions and back and forth, right? Back to 32, didn't have time to get it. 32 is very much a hot number, isn't it? Probably there will be repetition and return. But since it started, repetition back and forth of the 14 and 1, repetition of the 1 and the 14, back and forth. The 14 and the 24, and a repeat of the 24 region, I pulled the hot numbers, okay? It went to the 2, see? It didn't hit the 32, but it's part of the same region of kings, okay? This here, look, all of this here is part of the same region of kings. The trigger now, it simply must not get lost because sometimes it gets meshy. Return 1 and of the 14. I didn't even do the 31 anymore, man. Only the 1 and the 14, which are the ones present there in that predominant region. I will draw it here. It will be clearer. Repetition, repetition, back and forth movement across wide regions, right? Repetition. And I pulled the back and forth, the 24 came. Do you see that the 24 has already confirmed that it's a hot number? When it comes randomly, but within the pattern of back and forth repetitions, it will make some sense later, okay? So now I already know that the 24, 14, and 1 are my hot numbers of the last rounds. So I have to do this sequence and follow it from the beginning, right? Pick her up there at the entrance of 3221, right? She did round trips, repetition, round trips from wide regions, okay? To finish, a quick hit and repetition. It came to the 18. The repetition would be of the 18, which is a hot number, okay? I'm going to do it in another region for you to see that it's not just here. 8. 28 itself can also be making sense for my pattern. I was going to do the 29 here on the fly just to avoid a loss, but basically that's it, right? Every quick round trip must involve returning to the same region. When the exact target and neighbor's trigger appears, right, it gets easy too. Look, the 31 there. So now here, look, what happened? Probably the trading desk did and gave me a round trip. But 2 round trips in a row, right? This is probably where the algorithm changes. If she comes for a quick trip, I will work with a quick trip, right? Like 18, 24, 31 is part of the same region. And the 1 and the 24 are also from the same region. So I have 2 round trips here. I prefer not to enter and wait for the pattern to normalize again, rather than trying collection patterns, right? It's very rare to be making these patterns of just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's more common to have a simple back and forth and repetition pattern, right? It's a format that Roulette uses to make a profit and also to pay out the winnings, isn't it? That side there is a bit more complex.